Welcome to the annual meeting for Modine Manufacturing Company. Our host for today's call is Isama Wabuzer. I will now turn the call over to your host, Isama Wabuzer. You may begin.
Good morning and welcome to Modine's 2025 Annual Shareholders Meeting. On the meeting screen, you will see the agenda for the meeting, a place for you to vote or to update your previous vote, a place for you to ask questions, as well as a materials section, including the rules of conduct for the meeting. Please take a moment to review these rules. During this meeting, we will only answer questions that are pertinent to the business of the meeting. We understand that there may be questions concerning business matters outside the agenda topics, but we will not be taking those questions at this time. Now, I would like to turn the meeting over to Marsha Williams, the chair of the Modine Board of Directors.
Thank you, Isioma. Good morning. On behalf of Modine's Board of Directors and the entire management team, I'd like to welcome you to Modine's annual shareholders meeting. Joining me in hosting the meeting is Aaron Roth, our Vice President, General Counsel, and Chief Compliance Officer, who is serving as Secretary of this meeting. The annual meeting of the shareholders of Modine Manufacturing Company will please come to order. Pursuant to the authority vested in me by the bylaws and Wisconsin law, I have set forth an agenda for this meeting, and the business of the meeting will follow the order set forth in the agenda. To ensure an orderly and constructive meeting and give all shareholders an opportunity to be heard, the meeting will be conducted in a manner intended to be fair to the interests of all shareholders and in accordance with the rules of conduct established for the meeting. As noted, there is a place for questions which will be addressed later in the meeting. Please confine any questions to the agenda items. The agenda and rules of conduct are available on the meeting screen. Michael Rathburn, Deputy General Counsel and Assistant Corporate Secretary, and Isioma Wabuzer, Associate General Counsel and Assistant Corporate Secretary, have been appointed to serve as the Inspectors of Election and have filed their oaths of Inspectors of Election. For the record, the other directors present today at this virtual annual meeting are Neil Brinker, President and Chief Executive Officer, Eric Ashelman, Mark Benza, Suresh Garamella, Catherine Harper, Alan Lowe, Christopher Patterson, David Wilson, William Wolfson, and Christine Yan. A detailed biography of each director was provided in the proxy statement, which is available on the meeting screen. Also present at this virtual meeting is Mick Lucarelli, Modine's Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, as well as Ryan Machalski from our independent registered public accounting firm, KPMG. This is a regular annual meeting of the shareholders. Will the Secretary, Aaron Roth, please make the necessary announcements so that we may proceed with the meeting?
This meeting is called pursuant to the bylaws of the company upon order of the Board of Directors and written notice given by the company. Available in the materials section is a copy of the affidavit of mailing certifying that our proxy statement and the annual report to shareholders and the 2025 annual report on Form 10-K were mailed beginning on July 9th, 2025 to each shareholder of record as of the close of business on June 23rd, 2025, the record date. As required by Wisconsin statutes, a certified list of the names of all shareholders entitled to notice of this meeting, prepared by Equinity Trust Company, the transfer agent of the company, is available in the meeting materials with addresses and the number of shares held by each shareholder entitled to vote at this meeting. All of the foregoing documents, including the minutes of last year's shareholders meeting, are available for review in the meeting materials. Please note that portions of this meeting, including management's responses to any questions, may contain forward-looking statements as defined in the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Please review Modine's notice about such statements, which is also available in the meeting materials.
Thank you, Erin. The inspectors of election have determined that a majority of the shares outstanding and entitled to vote are represented at this meeting. Accordingly, under the bylaws, there is a quorum present, and this meeting is, therefore, lawfully convened and qualified to transact business. As chair, I order the notice of meeting, the proxy statement and form of proxy card, the affidavit of mailing, and the oath and report of the inspectors of election be made part of the minutes. The notice of the meeting specifies that this meeting was called to elect the company-nominated slate of 4 directors for terms expiring in 2028. The nominees are Neil Brinker, Catherine Harper, David Wilson, and Mark Benza. Notice of no other nomination was given to the corporation. As a result, under our bylaws, no other nominations can be made. The meeting was also called to approve an advisory vote on the company's named executive officer compensation and to ratify the appointment of the company's independent registered public accounting firm, KPMG. The meeting is now open for discussion specifically concerning the matters to be voted upon. Isioma, have we received any questions that are pertinent to the business of the meeting?
No, we have not received any questions pertinent to the business of the meeting.
Thank you. Any shareholder who hasn't yet voted or who wishes to change their vote may do so by clicking the vote button on their screen and following the instructions there. Shareholders who have sent in proxies or voted by telephone or online and who do not wish to change their votes do not need to take any further action. We will pause briefly while the votes are being counted. The polls are now closed as to all matters to be acted on at this meeting. All proxies and ballots have been submitted. Will the Secretary please supply the latest tally of the inspectors of election for each of the issues to be voted upon?
Shares of common stock outstanding and entitled to vote at this meeting are 52,476,778. Shares represented at this meeting in person or by proxy are 93% of the total shares outstanding and entitled to vote. The latest tally with respect to the election of directors indicates that each of the directors, Brinker, Harper, Wilson, and Benza, received a majority of the votes cast. With regard to the approval of the advisory vote on the company's named executive officer compensation, the latest tally indicates that 96% of the votes cast on this item are in favor. With regard to the ratification of the appointment of KPMG as the independent registered public accounting firm, the latest tally indicates that 99% of the votes cast on this item are in favor.
Thank you, Erin. Since the latest tally of the inspectors of election indicates that each of the matters voted upon has received the requisite votes as described in the proxy statement, I now declare that Mr. Brinker, Ms. Harper, Mr. Wilson, and Mr. Benza are elected as directors of this corporation for terms to expire in 2028. The advisory vote on the company's named executive officer compensation is approved, and KPMG's appointment as the company's independent registered public accounting firm is ratified. No notice of any other business was given to the company in accordance with our bylaws. Therefore, no other business can properly be brought before this annual meeting, and I declare the meeting adjourned. This concludes our 2025 shareholders meeting. Management and the board of directors appreciate your interest in the company. Thank you all for being with us today.